am Kier Starmer. I'm a leader of the Labour Party. I'm a Bongobondhu. And I'd like to thank Her Excellency, the High Commissioner, for the invitation to speak today. And I recall that first meeting that we had in my office in Westminster. I look forward to many more meetings along the same lines on many topics and many issues. It's wonderful that we're joined today by His Excellency, Dr. Abdul Momen, the Honourable Foreign Minister, as we come together to commemorate the father of the nation of Bangladesh, Bongobondhu. It's a really remarkable occasion, and to pay tribute to this great statesman who spent 14 years in prison whilst fighting the civil, political and cultural rights in Bangladesh, leading to Bangladesh independence in 1971. Today we celebrate his historic maiden visit to London as the president of the newly independent Bangladesh. And it's a real pleasure for me, if I may say, to follow Lisa Nandi, our shadow foreign secretary, who's doing so much for the Labour Party on the world stage in the 9 or 10 months that she's been in post. Like her, and I listen to her words, I'm, as leader of the Labour Party, I'm incredibly proud of the relationship that the father of Bangladesh forged with my predecessor and former Prime Minister, of course, the great Harold Wilson. They shared a rare friendship and camaraderie bound by their belief in justice and equality. And that bond, if you like, has provided a platform for the friendship and the relationship between the British people and the people of Bangladesh, which remains very, very strong today. And I'm determined to use the links between our two nations as a force for good in the world, and we absolutely need it at the moment, building on our shared values of tackling climate change, promoting economic equality, and crucially protecting human rights. So with that in mind, I want to reaffirm the Labour Party's commitment to defend the human rights of the Rohingya. You've heard from Lisa Nandi already this morning, and together we'll press the UK government to work more effectively with our allies and partners in the UN and other international organisations to uphold the rule of law in Myanmar and defend the Rohingya rights. But as much as we can talk about international relations, I want to use today's events to also thank the Bangladeshi community here in the UK, who have contributed hugely to British society, to our economy, and to our cultural diversity. And I know, this year, this last 9 months have been really, really difficult. And to all of you and all of your friends and relations and communities who've lost loved ones in the last 9 months to this dreadful virus, I send my deepest condolences. And if you could pass that on, I'd be really pleased if you could. The Bangladeshi community across the UK has played a crucial role in this pandemic, as we knew they would, whether as frontline workers, caregivers, through charitable giving, or just being part of the communities that they are, looking out and looking after one another. And obviously, here we are a few days into 2021, in the winter months now, and a new national lockdown. And it is the time to step up once again and work together. The next national effort here is the rollout of the vaccine and dealing with the economic impact of COVID-19. And many businesses will be affected, particularly renowned Bangladeshi restaurants across the United Kingdom. I know this from my own community, from my own constituency, who've played such a huge part in our national history. We've got over, as you know, 12,000 British Bangladeshi restaurants across the United Kingdom, but they're now under huge pressure, along with the rest of the hospitality sector. I don't think there's any sector that's been hit harder than the hospitality sector. And as I go around the country, particularly through Camden, to see all of those restaurants all shut up, boarded, with nobody there, tells its own story. And that's against the background, of course, that the curry industry employs over 90,000 people in the United Kingdom and is worth over £4 billion to our economy. And we therefore need to do all we can to support the sustainability of these restaurants, of this industry at this unprecedented time. And as Labour leader, I'm really proud to say my party is a strong voice and platform for the British Bangladeshi community. It always has been. And it was really good to be able to get to this bit of my speech. The first councillor, the first council leader, the first peer, and the first MP from the British Bangladeshi community were all represented by the Labour Party. And we're really, really proud of that connection that we have and the representation that gives in all of our important places of representation. I'm really proud also that our 4 members of parliament of Bangladeshi origin are all women, leading the way and breaking down barriers. And that's incredibly important for diversity across the United Kingdom, plays a huge part. In my own constituency in Camden, the Bangladeshi community plays an integral part of civil society, and I'll continue to work with other MPs and councillors and the wider community to ensure that the voice of Bangladesh is heard and represented at the heart of our democracy. As some of you will know, I had the great pleasure of visiting Bangladesh myself in 2016 with Labour Friends of Bangladesh, visiting Dhaka and Sylhet. And I was struck just by the warmth of people and communities. Dhaka busy, Sylhet incredibly serene and beautiful. And I went to see the family homes of many of the people, friends of mine, in our communities in Sylhet, and I got a sense of that warmth of the communities, the warmth of the nation, and it was an incredible honour to be there. I was able to visit the museum to the founding father of Bangladesh and had the privilege of meeting political leaders and local people with connections of my own to the constituency. To actually go and visit the museum again is an incredible piece of history, very moving, and actually brings all the briefings, the history, the reading that we do, brings it all to life. And I learned about the fantastic community projects and experienced the amazing generosity and hospitality of the Bangladeshi people. It really was quite incredible. And really to sense the spirit that has built Bangladesh into one of the fastest growing economies in South Asia. So I pay my tribute to the founding father of Bangladesh, a leader who left an incredible legacy of opposing violence, championing democracy and social justice. And during this year-long celebration, I'd like to wish the Bangladeshi High Commission in London and British Bangladeshis all the very best. I look forward to when we can all meet again in person. We're getting used to this meeting on the screens. It is a great way of bringing people together, but it's not as good as meeting in person. I hope you continue to enjoy today's celebrations and all the other celebrations. And it's a great honour to have been able to join you, and I look forward to working with you in the coming weeks, months and years as we tie those bonds between our nations even further and stronger into the future. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.